Hey y'all, what's going on? It's Barb Meets World, and we are here again today to discuss the Real Housewives of Atlanta's season 16, episode 16, Chicken and Waffles. And you guys already know I have one of my most favorite guests, my good sis, California Cutie.
Yeah. Thank you for having me again, sister. I love being here.
I love having you here. I love having you here. Do I love discussing this show? I don't know. Because it's like, it's gotten to be like, I feel weird watching it now because it's just like we see so much stuff happening and transpiring online, and we don't know like what is real versus fake versus fact versus fiction, whatever. So I'm ready to wrap this one up.
Yeah, it got real mudslingish. It's mud and dirt and stuff all on the walls. A lot of it's, it's getting really down and dirty, and not for nothing. Some of the stuff, it's like we went right back to the circle of where we started off with what was tainting the season with the the Kenya Moore situation. No disrespect to Kenya, because we're mad she's gone. We're Team Twirl over here. As far as her leaving, I wasn't always a Team Twirl fan, but I've always been a Kenya Moore fan, though. If y'all know the difference. There is a difference. Team Twirl is who she is on Atlanta when she first showed up. No. But, I told y'all, after motherhood changed into another person, she morphed into a more better and more beautiful person on the inside, which matches her outside. So, yes, mad that she had to leave, and I feel like it went back. I feel like we just slid right back into some old slimy nastiness. Like it was just, I don't care for that part of it.
Which has been something that we've been trying to, avoid and bounce back from, only for us to feel like we're sliding back into it. And I think a lot for me has to do with the fact that so much stuff has been happening off camera too. Like, not even just what's going on online, but like literally they keep saying things, just like in this episode. We don't when did this conversation occur with the stylist, the glam team or whatever? We don't see these side conversations or side activities and stuff like that. Like, we don't hear any of these things, so it's like we're kind of left in the dark to kind of differentiate what really happened or what really didn't happen, because we don't get to see it. I hate when they do that.
And I've been hearing a lot of people saying they're both wrong. They're both wrong. They both need to take accountability, which is probably true, because it does take two to argue, two to fight, all of that stuff. So literally, it probably does have a combination of both. But Brit don't make it easy for me. Brit don't make it easy for me to do my Libra thing. She doesn't make it easy for me to see it from both sides and be balanced. And, she makes it difficult.
I don't think so at all. But y'all, you already know, before we jump into the episode, for real, we need you guys to do a couple things for us, which include liking the video, because we are streaming from both our channels. So like on both channels, please and thank you. Also, if you're not a subscriber, go on ahead, hit the subscription button on both channels as well. Become a cutie, become a Barb's babe. We would love to have you guys be a part of our squads over here. Also, leave us some comments. We want to know what you guys thought of the season, this episode, our commentary, all the things, y'all. What's been happening on social media, like all the things. We want to hear about it down in the comment section below. Also, turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any of our uploads, and share us with all of your folks.
And thank you. And very much thank you.
Excuse me. Make sure you're following us on our socials too. They are scrolling across the bottom of the screen. And as you come into the room, drop down a live chat. Let us know, what you guys think. Say hello. Pop out the bushes. If you're watching on X, come on over here to YouTube and like, comment, subscribe, share, do all the things. Collectively, we've got 9 people watching, and I think we're just gonna roll now, y'all. Again, chicken and waffles. We didn't quite know what to expect with this episode. I was thinking we were going to see Kelli's second restaurant location opening, maybe perhaps, but no, it was actually called chicken and waffles because we get a waffle cook-off that we'll get into here in a second. But as far as how this episode jumped off was with Shamea, Shia, and Shiloh. They were all at the pediatrician's office. Dr. Harmon and Shia was real greased up. I understood what was meant there. Production seemed to be confused. Okay. Shamea calls Gerald on FaceTimes him. I just wanted to make sure I threw that out there. And they're going into this appointment because, as we know, Shiloh was having some issues. Her temperature was all out of whack there when Shamea was in Grenada and stuff. So they're just following up with that. And we also find out that Shamea was diagnosed with strep throat when she came back from Grenada. So interesting. And all in all, Shiloh seems to be okay enough. Crisis averted. The doctor, of course, looked inside her throat and everything and checked her out, and she seems to be okay. But we know that she's endured so much since being placed on this earth, so much so that all this, of course, prompted Gerald and Shamea to have a conversation, which from there, they have decided to pump the brakes on expanding their family right now. It's not looking like a great time with everything that they have on their plate, as a lot of us have been saying all season. But they've came to that conclusion here and now. My main thing with this scene, or my only thing, which I just made sure to mention, was that why the fuck is Gerald ever at the appointment since he's like so, included and stuff like that? Like, that's important. You couldn't call off work or whatever. And maybe not. Okay. This freaking appointment was one thing, but let's go back to the surrogacy appointment with the surrogate, which, I think she said in this, I don't know if it was in this scene or
it was.
That, the transfer failed with the surrogate that we saw.
That's what made them decide that.
Which, yes, then from there, blah blah blah, everything I just said. So that girl, they're not going with her anymore. But going back to that appointment, I felt like that was pretty important. He should have made himself available, and this probably has something to do. Does this have something to do with why you always feeling burnt out and stuff like that? Is he not as present and hands-on as you would like? Because you're saying you got all these people around you, Shamea, but right now I'm only seeing you. And then also, too, if you aren't feeling well, why the fuck are you bringing the baby to? Excuse me, did not mean to.
No, that's not why I did that. No.
Why are you bringing the baby to? Do we not know how strep throat is passed on to other people? Like, what are we? I'm confused. So, yeah.
Not a lick of dang on sense. You make a great point, sis. Literally, Shamea is sick or on antibiotics. We don't know what day it is. She said, I think she started 3 days ago or when she got back. I think, did she take 3 days or am I assuming that?
I think it was around 3 days. Yeah, like I heard that.
Okay, so we literally are hearing that she's on this antibiotic. She doesn't sound sick, so literally, I used to get strep throat a lot, and antibiotics cleared up really fast, but it literally just hurt for me to swallow. Like literally, just it wouldn't be like I'm sick, a fever, none of that. It just literally just be like I don't want to swallow nothing. And for some reason, your saliva just accumulates and it makes you have to swallow every time. Like right now when I talk, I am going to swallow, but like literally you don't notice how much you do it until it hurts to swallow. So for her to be with the babies is crazy. Like, because she has to do talking. So
yeah, I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah, and then to put him on FaceTime, like you said, I mean, is that for the cameras? Is that I told you I wasn't going to show up on I don't want to be on the Housewives, but I'm allowing you to be. But we also have children, a child that needs way more attention. So that means that you might be on camera or you might have to call more. So instead of saying, I don't want to be on something, or that makes me nervous too. When people say that when you're married, like, what you mean you don't want to be on camera? Like, what's the difference? We've been together all this time, But I mean, you're on camera sometimes. So I don't know what's the big deal. And like you said, it's not showing him in a good light. It's not showing that he's hands-on as much as she thinks he is. And I'm glad they're gonna wait a little bit. Not for nothing. I already told you last week that I think they should wait until the baby is maybe, I don't know if she's 2 yet, but at least till she's about 3 or 4. I said 5, but that might be the gap, might be too big. So 3 or 4, let the little baby get to 3 or 4 and, really know what's going on with her. Then, if y'all decide to do that, which, yikes, I don't even want to talk about it because it's not my decision. So I would never tell somebody yay or nay, but you already see what just happened. You've seen what just happened. No disrespect, but.
No, I mean, I think they're putting their lives out there for us to talk about it. So there's no issue with us weighing in on what we're seeing, and what we've been seeing all season has been some foolishness, Shamea, because you are still talking about, like, everything you're saying contradicts and just doesn't make any sense. Because on one hand, I'm just bogged deep down. You do not show up for me how I want you to show up for me. Oh, it's my best friend. I got my best friend back. Ah, yes. What? Like, I don't, huh? How are all these things existing at the same time in your life, Shamea? It's not making any sense. And, like, I'm really, whatever. We never have to.
They're not giving best friends still. I know they made up. Do you see best friends?
It's never been best friends, and she knows it.
That, and I think that Kelli and Shamea are closer than. Because like
her have ever been, and all the match up the years that you and Porsha were best friends compared to how you were showing up now here with Kelli, like night and day.
It was crazy. Didn't they dress alike in their bathing suits last week? I mean, Grenada.
I've never seen her and Porsha match.
Just saying, and not that I want y'all to, because don't do that.
I don't know. I mean, I could do a little matching situation every now and then.
I mean, every now and again. For a special occasion, a bride, your birthday, celebration. I get it. I'm not saying that because you can do a matching t-shirt all day long. That's not what I was saying. I'm just saying bathing suit with the headband. I don't know.
Oh, like really? We're like, yes, we're stepping out. Like, that gives best friend. Like, I'm not going to do that with anybody else that I'm not locked in. Like, obviously that gives off we're locked in like that. Obviously, so.
Message. That's what it was given. Message. If you ain't listening or watching, Porsha, you might be getting replaced. Message. Or I'm gonna stop acting like we're so close when we're really not. Just like Kelli is finding out that her and Brit is not as close as you thought she was. It's more one-sided than you thought.
Exactly, y'all. Exactly. That's all. We're just trying to make sure you guys are picking up, because we're not going to get all the dots connected with just watching the show or whatever. We really got to dissect these things, because what they're showing us is some BS sometimes. So we got to call it out.
Got to.
And Shamea said on the after show, she kind of broke down the IVF. That's where she was at.
How many did you tell me what happened?
Well, she just kind of, like, obviously there's different forms of IVF or whatever. If you're just doing it to create embryos, if you're just trying to do the egg retrieval process, if you're actually trying to, what's the word? If you're trying to inseminate, inseminate the person, the surrogate. There's different like parts,
levels, different things you can do.
She's at the part where, and she said this earlier on in the season, that they had embryos, her and Gerald. But right now they officially only have 3 viable embryos right now. So the surrogate, or she also said that this has been something obviously that they've been going hard at since actually Shamea was like born. Like this has been the hot topic of the house, what they've been going at like so super hard since then, going back to then. So that's a long time. And was she like 4 or 5? That's a lot. Okay, that's a lot to be dealing with, that whole process, and trying to expand your family for like 4 years now, nonstop.
That's crazy.
Wait, but yeah, y'all. Moving right along to somebody who I'm still not excited to see on the show. However, and I know my sis will agree with me on this, that the only way that Phaedra is digestible and the only redeeming quality about her,
yes,
her boys.
Yes, and you didn't even. I was
like, honestly, I'm gonna get. I mean, yes, is Apollo in their life? Yes. However, I'm gonna give like Phaedra like 65-70% of the kudos, because Apollo, you went away for a little bit, so she has done an amazing job with those boys. They are well spoken. They have a obvious bond between them two. There's no like sibling rivalry from what we can see. I mean, I'm sure they get into it sometimes, like we're all human, but overall they are
got really, a camaraderie.
Yes, they do. Because she actually talks about that later on in the episode, that I'm not always gonna be here, so y'all need to have each other's back. And I really just enjoyed this scene, because we also find out, y'all, that Dylan, her youngest, he's Mr. President, right? Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Yes.
What's Aiden? Aiden's the
not the emperor. No. Dylan's the oldest. Aiden's the oldest. Dylan's the president. The baby was the president.
Prince?
Mr. President, and was Kent. No, he was a king. Was it king or prince? He was one. It's like royalty, so I want to say the king.
I always forget. I know one is the president, but I always forget the other. Nonetheless,
I wish they would have did that. I wish they would have went back one more time. I feel like, they should have showed us both of their nicknames that she gave, because she gave both of them. I don't know. I can't think, but whatever it was, he was first. So, but the president was such a cutie. He looks so much like Phaedra, and the other one looks so much like his dad to me.
Yes. Oh my God, I have a picture. I don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. Definitely so.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like Dylan looks like both of them. I feel like Aiden. I mean, I guess they both look like both of them.
But I mean, they do.
Aiden looks extremely like Phaedra.
I
feel like I see.
I knew that birth.
And Phaedra.
When he was a baby. Even when he was a baby, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this baby looked just like her." And to me, the oldest looked like more like Apollo as a little kid. So I literally, to see them getting they're grown up. I mean, teenage faces. Because one is 11, and then the other one is 13, maybe. I don't know, but I know the youngest is 11.
Okay, so then like probably like 12, 13. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So well spoken, and just great start, y'all. And I say that because we find out Dylan, he loves fashion, so much so that he wanted some like bell-bottom pants. They didn't have them readily available in his size, so Phaedra was like, "Why not buy you a sewing machine and you learn how to sew them yourself?" That's fine. I think that's awesome, because I feel like, and especially you see that with, I feel like little boys, where it's like, oh, like you want to just hand them a basketball or football or whatever. There's so many other interests that you can assist your child with seeking out and stuff like that. And I feel like, we don't always see little boys out here like, give me a sewing machine and I'm gonna learn how to make my own clothes. I thought that was beautiful. And I really have to give him kudos, because he's doing a lot better than we've seen other people on this show, Sheree, show up and, not have products readily available. He got his site up and everything already. You can order. Everything is doing what it needs to do over there. And Phaedra, of course, brings it back to herself and how, she is a serially booked and busy woman these days. We see her face everywhere, child. And of course that trickled on down to the boys as well. And she tells them about her upcoming event. Dylan is actually going to be able to showcase his creations at said event. They will be ready on time, and I'm loving what I see. I really am. Good for them.
Absolutely. It brings me back to both my girls. Both my girls did that. They both, my oldest, she wanted to create and stuff, and so we bought her a sewing machine, and she started creating her own clothes and stuff, and she was good with that. And now Nani does the same thing. Oh, she just made this really bomb skirt. Nani just did. I can't wait for it to be finished, and it's really pleated, and it's dope. But my daughter, the youngest daughter, she just creates everything from head to toe, different stuff, from hats down to the shoes. Like, she can create any part of anything on you, which is dope. And as she did, I bought both of them sewing machines, so that they can create and stuff, and they both can hand sew as well. So it's just great to see, like you said, a young man take an interest, and then the mom feeding it, like, yes, do it. And the fact that the brother already wants to get in on the act and, be his financial advisor, or, get it going, and knowing that he has faith that his brother's going to make some money. So he's like going to get a little percentage off of it. I think it's dope.
Mm-hmm. And we have the gentleman there. I think he was like his mentor. Like,
yeah,
they're not half doing this or nothing like that. Like, she really is showing up and supporting and nurturing his interests, as I would do as a mother as well. So that's why I opened up with saying the only redeeming qualities that I can see from Phaedra is that she did her big one when it comes to those boys. And yeah.
I'm glad that we were able to see it, and she was able to showcase that on the show as late as it got. At least we got a piece of that, because literally, girl, you wouldn't have been able to bring that.
You were on set for all 10 days. But okay. Moving right along, y'all. Kelli. We found out when she was in Grenada that she was going to have this upcoming divorce hearing. Well, the day has arrived. I don't have any pictures of it, but when I say she looked amazing in her
white suit.
Yeah, I was like, okay, Kelli, I'm here for it.
With her blue bag.
Mm-hmm. Her blue Birkin, I'm here for it.
Yes.
Walked up in there and did what she had to do. Unfortunately, they did not finalize things because they ran over. The judge only allocated a certain amount of time, and they ran over. They couldn't, come to agreements on certain stuff, and unfortunately, they're going to need a continuation. And afterwards, back at home, Lamont, that's her publicist. We got introduced to him earlier on in the season. They're, seems to be close to her enough to show up and support for her after the court hearing. And just before he steps away, he opens the door for Shamea to come on in, even though she has all this stuff going on in her own life. Okay, y'all. Let me just pause real quick right here and say, when I say that, I'm not saying like, don't show up here for, like, I still, even when I do have stuff going on, I'm still going to show up for my friends as much as I can, of course. However, the way Shamea be making it seem like she's really just going through it all the time. She got so much going on over there. Shit don't seem like it's going to get done or tended to if she's not around or whatever. I just was like, well, okay, well, of course you're showing up for, anyway. We know that it's been 3 years since Kelli's been going through this whole divorce situation. And again, she's just ready to be done. However, since they couldn't finish it today, like I said before, they have to continue it. And she also lets us know, and Shamea know, that her ex-husband got locked up. Why?
Clink, clink. Dumb. And I hope they keep his...
Clank the clank, bitch. Arrest her. Clank the clank, bitch.
That would have been me. That really did not age well. But anyway, that would have been me, because what you're not going to do, is come up here and not do for your children. Her ex-husband epitomizes the statement. What is it? You will cut off your nose to spite your face. That's literally her ex-husband, because you're trying to get back at her. let me not even say get back, because we don't even know what happened. You're trying to spite her so much that you are now locked up because you decided that you were going to be a deadbeat and not, show up for kids, even though you guys are going to divorce. Doesn't mean you were divorcing the kids, but apparently in your mind, that's how you were going about it. So no, you're exactly where you need to be. And I would have said exactly what Karen just said. Lock him up. Lock him up. He did not do what he was supposed to do, which it wasn't even, those weren't Kelly's rules, y'all.
Right.
The judge said, hey, you're going to pay this amount. And we have she has not seen any of it since the first time he got locked up and he paid enough just to get out.
And no more payments after that. One payment to get out, and that's it. Boy, you are a sorry sap sucker. You are sorry sap sucker. Like, seriously, like, what's wrong with you? Why would you do that to your children? Never mind, that's your. So even let's say, like, men like to argue over. People like to argue over child support. So if there's a problem with you giving your ex-wife, the money, and y'all didn't have a court order, why wouldn't you just go open up your kids a bank account where they can go to their account and they can have their own money whenever they go buy shoes or want to go buy some clothes or whatever it may be, and that you are attached to this account, and that it's like the money comes through your money, flows through them, and then they're able to take care of themselves. But all that not doing for the baby mother, trying to not do for them, that never works. All the kids remember is that you didn't do for us, all of us, mom, me, my sisters. That's what they remember. They're not going to remember, well, me and your mom we weren't really good at the time. So what that got to do with me?
You ain't up here to see me in 10 months. So
yeah, it's a bad look when it's such a bad look. I just can't stand it. I don't think that Kelly's daughters deserve that. All the way down to the oldest one. Like,
that was messed up.
That one is even more detrimental because it's so weird. Like, even my older kids know my younger kids' dad longer than they know their dad. Like, they saw their dad young, and my kids got to see their dad. We had our kids 32, 35, and 38. So we were older, and my kids had seen us at 27. Well, my kids seen me all my whole life, their whole life. But when I got with my husband, we were 27. So they saw at 27 to the early 30s, and then like that. So it's a trip that he would do something like that. It's like literally. And for the oldest, they remember. You can't pull the wool over their eyes and act like, well, it was different then, and you don't know, you didn't see, you didn't. No. I did. I do know. Like, that's the part that chops my hide. And it's so funny because I think Erica De Niro, shout out to Erica De Niro, I think she said that the other day, and I was like, it's so funny because we come from a particular age and time, just like you said, no spice your face. Just certain sayings come back around and it's be like, dang, I just said that, and they'll say it, and then it'll be like, damn. But yeah, it really chops my eye when they do shit like that, because, like I said, it really makes the kid more angry at you. So,
yeah, that's what you're gonna have to answer for that to them early. Like, forget about Kelly. Ultimately, the damage has been done. That relationship is severed. Mm-hmm. But you still like not showing up for your kids is just I don't know. I'm not gonna say I've never seen that. I can't empathize with that because my dad paid child support right. and still show like I didn't call him and he was go ask her or don't call me or screw your mom, so I'm not going to do for like that. Just never like happened. That all comes down to if you want to, you will.
There you go.
Want for your kids, if you want to be present, like it don't matter court or like if you want to do for your children and you want to make sure that they understand that they are cared about and loved and supported by you as a parent, not just because the other parent is showing up for them. And I say that because I think about Candy and her baby daddy situation back in the day where it's like, oh, well, like you don't need no help because, Candy's money bag. So that means I don't need to do anything. What the fuck?
Huh? Riley said, give me the money that you should have gave me anyway.
Exactly.
I need it right now. If you're gonna do that, you
Again,
should
I'm
have put
not.
that in a trust. Like I just said, he's put that in a bank account, a trust fund, something that when she turned 18, she could have got that money. When she turned
2025, you literally you could have cash out like all the kids. Everybody got Apple Pay. Like there's ways to get those children money. If you can't be there presently, there's ways to make sure at least you're showing up monetarily. Because yeah, there's 4 of them and shit ain't cheap. So I can only imagine. And
I wonder why did we find out why they're divorcing? Who filed for the divorce? What is it?
No, I'm gonna assume she did. No, that's why I said like I can't say he's getting back at her because well, actually Kelli can literally, and we'll get into that later on when Brit says a certain thing, and I'm like, who cares? Because he's proved to be ain't shit. So
right.
Who cares about respecting him? But whatever. No, we don't know. I wonder if we're gonna touch on that at the reunion at all, but we'll see. So. I think about like I say people, y'all, that they're gonna show up if they want to show up that way. I think about freaking even if you want to be, you could even be petty when you show up. I'm not condoning that, but like I've seen people still show up even though they're kind of petty and showing up. And I think about back when I was younger, my best friend, her parents, she had 2 cell phones. Like that's how much they were just not even, and they get along today just fine, which is crazy. You know, time heals things sometimes. But I bring that up because it's just like, yeah, in the event that you don't want to deal with the other parent or minimize y'all's communications or interactions, there's enough technology in 2025 to where you can still be present if you want to be present, if you give a fuck. He don't give a fuck.
That's what I gather. That's what I gather.
The last little part of this scene though, y'all, deals with Shamea actually asking, or actually no. So as they're talking, Angela actually FaceTimes, or no, she called Kelli just to check in, ask how she was. Everybody has been made aware that she had this court case coming up, and they, you know, she's been very vocal about how grueling of a process this entire divorce has been. Not even just the divorce process. It sounded like the marriage. It started in the marriage. So you would just, you know, of course, think that other people, when you tell them that, if we're trying to build friendships and stuff like that, you're gonna, you know, even if it was a 2-second text message, hey, how you doing? I know you dealt with that with a lot today. Just want to make sure I'm thinking about you. Angela made sure that she called Kelli, and she was very appreciative of that. Shamea then asks Kelli, hey, what's going on with you and Brit? Like, have you talked to her? And we find out that Kelli and Brit have not talked since Grenada. And Kelli at this point is really disappointed. She showed Brit so much support through the issue that she started up with Kenya. Supported her by showing up with the IV therapist, wherever. She threw her a brunch that she funded. She even walked out of Kenya's event when she thought that, or when it was looking like she was trying to go in on her supposed bestie. She showed up. She showed up
that big old bouquet to the derby type, whatever that was.
Wait, oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. Multiple times, y'all. We can't argue. We cannot deny the fact that Kelli has made it her mission as a friend, at least from what we could see on the show, to show up for Brit in the beginnings of the season. So again, she's super disappointed with the fact that wasn't reciprocated. How do you feel about that right now? Like her saying that, how she feels, all this, like
very valid points.
I went back and forth a lot.
Yeah, they showed us all those receipts. So we saw that. Like I said earlier, that's a one-sided friendship. It's been a one-sided friendship. I said earlier, me and you, a couple of episodes back, or a couple of our lives back, that I think that Brit and Kelli came in there on a mission to get to one had we're gonna get. It wasn't get them off the show. I don't mean it like that, but they literally was gonna like, you know what? I'm not gonna let nobody talk mess to me. And for Brit, I feel like that's how she came to Kenya. And not that Kelli was coming in on that, but I feel like when you best friend, you're like, well, girl, I got your back, whatever happens, no matter what. And that's why we got Kelli doing what she did for Brit when she walked out. She was so gracious to even say, I'll tell you. She said, I'll tell you in the car. She didn't want to say it in front of the cameras that she saw following them. That's how much of a friend she was. She didn't even utter the words. Girl, she showed you, and she didn't do none of that. So we all saw the receipts to that. When it comes, what else did happen before that? Because you said you talked about something else. Is that all we talked about? Was just the Kelli?
Yeah, really. Yeah, because we stopped to talk about her marriage. So that was the only other part was Kelli and
the divorce.
The dissolution of their friendship. This is the first, well, not the first. We've seen it brewing on the trip, but we're really starting to we're waist deep down what they went through to where they're not friends now. At this point in time in the episode, I was like, okay, I definitely understand that. That's messed up. Like she should have reached out to you, because we cannot deny that you were showing up for her in the beginning of the season. You guys also had that conversation where everything was supposedly squashed, and that goes both ways. In Grenada, y'all were supposed to have y'all left cool from what we gathered.
Yeah, but I guess that's why we get that the Glam Squad must have came and told her something, and from the point where she got back from Grenada and Kelli going to her divorce court, something in that happened is where it must have got faulty. And we haven't seen it because they didn't even show us that, like back to your point. So we are lost in how did the demise happen so fast, because we like, wait.
When was this conversation?
Just like Grenada, now we're here and you ain't talked to her? What? That's weird. And
I know the reason why we knew that was going to turn into this is because of what we know in present day off the show is that you guys aren't friends. So we knew this was coming. But we still are confused how it even came to this, because we didn't see the initial conversation of you saying, I don't want you doing her glam no more. How did we get here?
Yeah, they Yeah, I don't like when they do that, because even though we piecing it together, thank goodness for the fellow not commentators, but our content creators on YouTube, because we piece it together, and it takes all of us to be like, I didn't even see, girl, I didn't pay attention to that. That's why it's important for y'all to leave comments and stuff, because sometimes y'all see something we didn't see and didn't think of it the same way. So yeah,
so weird, y'all. The next scene, however, we get a small little 2-second clip of Phaedra. She sending out the invite to her event. She partnered with a close friend who was the owner of the Ivy showroom, which I've mentioned before. That, I mean, I guess now we know they're friends or whatever. So I guess it's not just Phaedra just renting all her designer clothes and not buying them.
But she said that's her client. And wait,
yeah, she was like, I'm her lawyer. She has Ivy showroom, but now we're doing something separate. So yeah, exactly. So they don't always talk clearly, but that's what I picked up.
That did too. I was like, wait, what?
An elevated shopping experience centered around furs. So I guess they went into a fur side business.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Kelli, y'all. Kelli has done it again, though. Although I'm like rolling my eyes at her a little bit, I have to give her props on this one too. Kelli now has had not one, not two, not three. This is probably her third, fourth, fifth event this season. She's now having like I said before.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, more than what I could say about other people. So she is hosting a Williams Sonoma cooking event. This is her 7th time partnering with them. She's like a brand ambassador for them, it seems. So she's invited Angela, Phaedra, and Drew there to the waffle cook-off situation or whatever, because they were starting to really build a friendship in Grenada. So she just is branching it off of that. And not only is Angela there, but she brought Charles with her. And
and that's what we need to call him. We need, when he's active and acting out or ready to pounce on somebody, we need to call that fool Chucky. And when he just Charles, shit, we gonna call him Chucky all the damn time, huh? No, I'm just funny.
So yes, so it's gonna be Charles and Kelli competing in this challenge. We know that Charles loves to cook, so I felt like he was right in his element with this. And they wound up making some bananas Foster waffles. That's what they made. And Angela asks how Kelli's been since they've returned from Grenada once again. And you know, how are her and Brit, like what's going on there? And Kelli's like, well, yeah, I guess I've got it good, or you know, kind of good. I haven't spoken to her though. Very just nonchalant about it, like and they're like, aren't you all best friends, huh? Wait, what? Like, that's not making any sense. Is that normal? What's up with that? And Kelli's like, nah, it's not normal, but you know, I'm mainly focused on me right now though, so you know, it is what it is. And again, they're all kind of like, okay, girl. And they do their taste test and of the waffles and everything. They're trying to decide on a winner. Kelli, Charles. I already knew that Charles was going to win because he obviously he's presented himself as somebody who don't mess around on the court or in the kitchen. So yeah, they did their big one there. It was cute. It was a kiki. They tasted.
I love that Angela said it was a tie. I love it. I thought that was.
But they know.
Angela's bomb for that. I mean, like literally, some things that she do are so subtle, but it make a difference. And I don't think she's aware. I did watch the Carlos King most of that.
Oh, good
interview. I did watch most of it, and yeah, she just does subtle things that make you be like, girl, come on, girl.
Did you see her on Watch What Happens Live? Did you watch What Happens Live the other night?
I did. Okay. I did. And Charles was at the bar. The bartender, you know.
Not just behind the bar, yeah. So yeah, they as they're talking about, you know, having a kiki over the winner, it's a tie, blah blah. A gentleman approaches Angela. And
I'm gonna take a little sip of this little yickety yak that I got, just a little bit. Go ahead.
Yeah, a gentleman approaches Angela, and she's like, she was confused, and he goes like, I need to tell you something, you know, off camera. It's important or whatever. And she's like, what's her name? Do I know? I don't even know you. Like, what? Huh? And he's like, I'm Marcus. She's like, not really trying to obviously have this conversation with this random stranger. And he's like, you know, I'd rather talk to you about it off camera or whatever.
Why you approach me on camera, sucker? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You may not know me, but you know, I know your husband. Okay. And she's just very much not moved, not feeling this guy's energy at all, brushes it off. And they're like, what was that about or whatever? And she's like, you know, who are you? Like, I've never seen you in a day of my life. Like, what is he talking about? Dude walks away. Kelli does a celebratory toast with everybody and shot, whatever. And dude actually joins in on the toast. And because he couldn't have the moment with Angela like they had anticipated happening. Where is it? Okay, because yeah, the ladies were all there. It was all smiles, it was all cute until it wasn't. And again, the gentleman, he then goes, oh, if your name is Angela, or what are you? Whoa, we're not doing that. Oh yeah, it's like, if your name is Angela, your husband is cheating on you.
That was in the toast that he. I mean, everybody's clinkety clink, and that
literally. Kelly's like, huh? What? We not doing that. What? The same energy she gave when Kenya pulled out the posters and stuff like that. She was like, absolutely not. And Angela says, and mind you, Charles is right there. He doesn't visually, we don't recognize that he heard it at all, but he was right there. And they're all like, what? And in her confessional, Angela's like, I'm really just trying to hold it together right now. I'm glad Charles didn't hear because, dude, he would have went in on dude, like, obviously. So she's just trying to keep things cool, calm, and collected. And afterwards, she just tried not to make a scene and everything. But afterwards, Kelly's like, lets Angela know, hey, I had no parts in that. I don't condone that type of behavior. Like, that absolutely had nothing to do with me. And I did appreciate that she let her know that. And as she's letting her know that, Phaedra, who was also very much like, oh, we ain't got time for that. Oh, absolutely not. Scurries on off, y'all, to her car. And before she could even probably close the door good, she gets Porsha on the phone, because this was a split scene, y'all, but I'm just doing it separately. She has Porsha on the phone, who is over at Brit's house with Cynthia and Brit. And she wants to let her know that, girl, tell me why a man came up in there and came up to Angela and said to her that her husband was cheating on her. Dun, dun, dun. She was like, Angela was visibly shaken. Charles was tight, was right there, but he didn't even hear him. And the man also got escorted out by security, thank God. But she wasted no time getting Porsha and then by proxy Brit and Cynthia on the phone to let them know that. And right then and there, like, y'all, I will say that, like, I knew somebody had a hand in it. One, because dude was mic'd. Like, obviously, so production, like, obviously they had been made aware that this is going to go on, which.
So Mike was Mike. Mike was Mike. Is his name Mike? What's his name Mike? I don't know if it's Mike. I'm
clearly production was in on it, which is just wild on their part, because I really, although I don't agree with everything Carlos says, he did break it down and made sure to shine light on the fact that, yes, that would mean then that production, it was made aware, and it's actually lazy on their part, because what they really should have did is say, oh, well, Phaedra, because if you guys, sorry, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen have you seen, you say you haven't seen it all?
What? Oh no, I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I know.
Phaedra, so y'all, Phaedra is behind this, and Angela knows for fact because she did her due diligence, which she broke down on the after show, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
That she did her due diligence. We'll get into that in a minute, and found out that Phaedra is actually behind this. So that whole little game she tried to play of we're not doing that or whatever. Girl, you knew exactly what was up.
What did Angela say? I didn't know him, or I don't know him. She said, you don't. How she put it? You don't even need to get to know him, or you need to stay away from him, or something like that. I was thinking to myself when I watched it again. I was like, "Ooh, girl, you are conniving."
It was so corny. I was so corny, and I'm mad that production even allowed that. I'm mad that the dude even signed up to do that, because you just really just look like a pawn. And ultimately, it was so boring, because y'all, I'll just let you guys know right now, we'll talk about it more, but I'm officially off the whole what's going on in Angela and Charles' marriage. He don't really like you. What's going on? Like, I am officially put that to rest.
You don't care, or you know what it is.
One, I don't care, and two, I do believe her until I see something concrete for sure. She's made it clear that she's not trying to come up off of him, and I do think that they do have an understanding that works for them. She's made it clear that he does show up for her in the ways she needs him. There's no gray area around like where they stand. She knows that he loves her. She knows where they've came, the journey that they've been on. And I think that what we've been seeing, and I actually have pointed this out, that the only other way I could see it happening is that this is not truly how they're not all over each other, and he's not all the super lovey-dovey, super affectionate, super one that's going to be so vocal about how, you know, he's feeling and stuff like that. Like, he's not outwardly going to show up like that. And I feel like that's how she knew. Like, I don't feel like that's something new or whatever. I feel like that was apparent before they even got married. And still, she's saying that he fulfills what needs to be fulfilled in her.
I don't believe her. The only reason I'm gonna stop you right there, sis, and tell you why I don't believe all that. Some of that gotta be a little bit of cap, is because she says that her love language, or one of her, I don't know, what do they call it? Well, I feel like it's love language. Is that she likes to hear affirmations,
words of affirmation.
Words. So right, but if you look at the way their relationship is set up, it don't seem like, now I could be wrong because we ain't seen them that much, but like the things that we have seen, it's not like he goes out of his way to tell her kind words all the time. That's not his personality, but he did on Watch What Happened Live. They gave him 5 reasons that he loves Angela, and
she's
him right out.
She's smart.
Good businesswoman, a good mother was number 1.
Yeah.
I'm missing one, but however, he came right through in the clutch for me, and then I said, "Oh yeah." But I said this when they first got together. We looking at from the outside looking in. That's their relationship. She knows she married. We don't know. She know.
And all these things are knowing. She looks at it as knowing all of the things that we've gone through. Like, in her opinion, they've been to hell, is what I'm assuming she's referring to. They do some shit enough.
They're still in therapy too.
Yeah, but he's still showing up though. That's what I'm saying. I've just shifted how I'm looking at it, and not trying to look at it from the angle of trying to find something wrong with it or try to apply my own definitions or how I feel like he should be showing up or whatever. Like I said, this doesn't mean like she could be lying right now, but that's how she's presenting it. I have other things to think about other than, is Angela and Charles' marriage really, really real for real? I think there's other marriages on the show that are less real than what they got going on. So let's talk about that. But I feel like right now we kind of need to put that to bed, because she's kind of addressed pretty much everything on interviews, and I just don't see them. I don't see them getting divorced anytime soon. Like, every time she's called him, Charles, you not answering? What's up with that? I genuinely do believe that he's a 60-something-year-old man that's like, don't probably be all on his phone. Like, it'd probably be over here, like he said, and he was there with the kids. So it would be different if he wasn't answering, and then when he did get on the phone, he was in a club or over here. It was right there. And then she's made it clear that she comes home to a home cooked meal every single night. And I think, I genuinely believe that what they got going on over there works for them. And I feel like another part of that is looking at like, they're very much solidified in not calling her old, y'all, but she's very much solidified in who she is. He's very much solidified in who he is. So yes, they know who they married, and
Carlos checked her passport.
Yes.
Her real age. Yeah, we know her real age. She was born in 81.
Which
is 44. Because Carlos is 45, and he kept saying, "You my age." She was like, "No, I'm not. I'm 44." He was like, "Okay, let me see your ID." So that was funny. I said,
it's because she cared. Like, I don't know. I'm still on the side of, no, I'm not saying that Angela, I thought she was older because she looks older. No,
me neither.
It's the way she carries herself. She carries herself very mature, very grown woman-like. And from there, then that can make people think like, oh, like, I just associated that with maybe a particular, they translate that to a particular age sometimes. And then when you hear that not being translated to that age, you're like, oh, okay. I'm not saying that I thought you're older. It's just women that carry themselves a certain way sometimes are usually this age over here. So
yeah.
I understood what she meant by that. I'm glad that they addressed that though, because Phaedra was trying to be funny when she said that. Nonetheless, yeah, I'm good on their marriage. Y'all are cool. Okay, do what you want to do.
Me too.
So
Me too.
Brit, like I said before, this was a split scene because on the flip side, we had Brit actually inviting Cynthia, Porsha over to her home, which is being renovated. I don't know if you peeped what was going on the sides. I'm like, maybe you should have brought them through the side door, but nonetheless, I guess they are really renovating her house. I don't know.
They are.
What money? I don't know if, or maybe that's the landlord you're renting from that's doing renovation. Anyway, but she's like, yeah, Phaedra's words really struck me, and I really want to build a relationship with them. So yes, I invited them to my house. And Porsha walks in. We up in Brit's house, like, oh, pigs must be flying. So they all sit down, and Brit begins to tell them how her and Kelli actually have been having a situation outside of the group, just between them two, where Kelli actually doesn't want her to use her same blame team, and she's told the entire team not to work with her, Brit says, because she felt as though she was getting the short end of the stick. Her looks and stuff weren't really where she wanted them to be in Nashville. And she thought that my outfits looked better. And yeah, so from that, she doesn't want to work. She doesn't want them to work with me. And that's where she says that, yes, the team apparently called her to let her know that. Kelli also, in her confessional, did admit that she did tell her team this, because at this point, I'm thinking it's kind of weird because, you're trying to collect everybody, from videographers to nail girls to hairstylists to clothing stylists to freaking assistants to she's trying to, the entire team, she wants them all.
What you gonna want? The security guard, her chauffeurs? What are you gonna want? That's crazy.
Her seamstress,
right?
Her nanny,
right?
Even though you ain't got no kids, but anyway, like, she wants to collect her whole entire team, and she just finds that very weird. And it's honestly giving, I'm not really that girl. Like I say, I'm that girl. And of course, side note, when Cynthia was like, "Are you frick or frack to Porsha?" She's like, "I'm both of them. Of course you guys are interchangeable. Of course you are." And them know that the stylist apparently is now working with Shamea, which is wild. And I wasn't, the way in which she tried to segue this was kind of like weird to me. And I'm like, Brit, that's where I started to get off the bus with you, because like what you could be saying is true on one accord, but then the way in which you go about it or whatever you add to it just completely takes me away from being on your side with things. And I say that because then she like brings it over to how she's been keeping the things Shamea has been saying about Porsha on hush hush. She's not sure if Shamea knows that Kelli, that this went on between her and Kelli and the team and everything like that. But what she does know is that she's been keeping the things that Shamea has been saying hush hush, so much so, which of course then Portia's like, what are you talking about? And she's yeah, well, like I've seen all the text messages about, you, or she showed me text messages about where you were discussing your divorce and how, your attorney advised you to just focus on yourself. And, I just stayed out of it though. But did you? Because right now you're making sure to let her know this, and it really doesn't have anything to do with the issue. But
you're deep in it now. You're deep in it.
You're not cool anymore. You're trying to air her out. Got it. So, well, no, you and Kelli are not cool now. So then you're trying to air Shamea out it was kind of weird to me, but
yeah, she was trying to play on Porsha's intelligence. Like, let me get her mad at Shamea. I'm mad at Kelli, then we can powwow. We can talk about them. That's what she was trying to do.
That's what exactly. And and I loved how Phaedra, Brit or Porsha was just like, you know, do what works for you. She didn't even let her get a moment. She's probably like, damn, I was supposed to be a moment. Nope, didn't even happen. And what Porsha does say in the confessional, like, yeah, so her showing those text messages, actually, those were between me and my therapist. And yeah, that was definitely crossing the line. It was a violation. Which honestly, if it happened that way, yes, I would agree that me showing my friends text messages.
I don't think she showed her the text. I don't think she showed her the text. I think she told her about what was said, and she either Brit says to her, "Oh, she called you. You talked to her." No, we were talking over text. I don't think she literally. Brit.
Oh no, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't her attorney. It was her therapist. Yeah,
it was her therapist. She didn't. I don't believe that it was what it was. I think that she did tell her what was said, and you know, and I don't think it was like so detrimental what she said to her. But I don't think she literally took her phone and was like, "Yeah, let me show you what me and Porsha be talking about," because you know, like, bro, get out of here.
On one hand, Shamea, at least to me, has definitely proven herself to be like a simple-minded, like just a simpleton a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
So on one hand, I can see her doing something like that, and I don't know, like you might be a peach holder, first-time peach holder this season, but you've been on the show before, so if you've walked into that, Shamea, you're less than smart. However, on the flip side, what I think the only thing that I could see happening that really would make sense, I feel like, would be that Kelli told or Shamea told Kelli and Kelli told Brit. I could see that that seems more logical in my opinion.
Shamea told Kelli and Kelli told Brit. But that's what I'm talking about. Whoever, well, like I said, Brit is the one that said, yeah, she's been she showed me the text messages. I'm like, I don't think nobody showed you no text messages. It might have been said what was on the text messages, but literally nobody showed her text messages. So when Porsha says, you know, yeah, she showed her my text messages, yeah, that's kind of on the weird side. I'm like, she didn't do that. She literally talked about it, or it was said probably. And the only way you know that was said, Porsha, that she was texting somebody. So what she's saying is the content is correct. Who it came from is correct. But how it's coming across like she showed her the text, that I just don't see that. I mean, if Shamea, first of all, Shamea don't like Brit like that. And I don't think she's gonna let her guard down.
That's why I was like, if you walk into that trap, Shamea, you're less than smart.
Yeah, I don't think no.
However, that's why I'm saying I can see Kelli and Shamea, obviously, we know they've been, you know, hitting it off, whatever. I can clearly see that they've probably been having some conversations.
Mm-hmm.
We know Kelli and Brit thought that they was best friends, I guess, at one point. So they probably had conversations, obviously. And I could see it being a game of telephone that way. And I want to say Porsha pretty much confirmed that what Brit said was things that she said or whatever, because I feel like she would have said, like, no, that wasn't, like, she literally said, like, that was my therapist. Like, that sounds like the conversation I had with my therapist definitely happened. So that's just weird all the way around. But regardless though, Porsha still, whether it happened the way that Brit said it happened or happened this other way or whatever, regardless of the fact, Brit is only bringing it to Porsha's face right now because she and Kelli are on the outs. Like, if you guys weren't on the outs, you wouldn't let me know. So you can never, y'all watch that's what the fuck Miss Diane should have been talking about when she said, watch the dog that carries the bone or whatever. Brit just fucking dropped a bone at your feet.
Mm-hmm. Boom.
So just
boom,
saying.
boom.
But yeah, y'all, we might touch on that at a reunion, we might not, because Brit's not going to be there. So is it even
because she's a fraud, phony, don't want to be accountable, don't want to get her feet held to the fire. She knows that. For me, I don't believe nothing she says. Like, I don't care what she says on this episode. I don't believe nothing Brit says. When I say that, I'm saying just like her bringing it to Porsha. Yeah, you telling the truth on that. What said, but how it was came to you, it wasn't that way. Your fraud. You're trying to get a rise out of Porsha to make Porsha come on your side. It didn't work. So you like bend the truth a lot, and then you try to play the victim like you did. Like, oh no, I wasn't doing anything. No,
yeah, you manipulate and then try to.
Yeah.
That's wild to me.
Way.
But anyway, it's not the day of Phaedra's event. She does a little walkthrough. Everything looks good. Unfortunately, though,
everything looks good. Crack kills. Everything don't look good.
Oh yeah, that was later, which I.
No, I don't. Well, I just said that.
I wish I would have gotten a picture, but I didn't.
The reason why I was disappointed in that because her sons were going to be there. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's just like why she just tries too hard. But Porsha, unfortunately, y'all, this is when and I know we've touched on it during the season, but now looking at it, they obviously wanted to keep with the actual historical timeline. We find out because Porsha FaceTimes Phaedra to let her know that she's not going to be at her event right now because Londi, who we were introduced to on Porsha's spinoff, her cousin, unfortunately had passed away. And so Porsha was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be there, etc., etc. The only thing I want to touch on with this or ask is how a lot of people had issues with how Phaedra responded or reacted to Porsha when she told her that. I didn't feel like the way she reacted was poor at all or anything like that. And I do understand when people say like, Phaedra, first of all, we all grieve differently. We all view death differently. And I feel like, although I'm never trying to give Phaedra too much now, I do probably think that on one hand, it's not like she's going to obviously view it differently because she's in the mortuary business. But I think in this moment, regardless, taking that off the table, I don't think that she responded like coldly or poorly at all. I think like her face, I mean, I hope that she was being genuine, obviously, but I do think that she gave a genuine expression when she was like her face did get screwed up and stuff. And she was like, so I didn't have an issue with how she reacted.
Two things could be true at the same time. She could have known. They might have had a discussion before that and then said, okay, well, we're going to bring that on camera. That's only because Phaedra, both of them, really, Phaedra took it, she was just like, oh, I'm sorry, oh, I understand, But she cried when she said it to the group, or, she got very emotional. You know what I mean? Or maybe she was trying to hold it together so that.
Sometimes you don't want to because Porsha, from what I heard, wasn't crying or anything like that. And I literally just went through this, on Sunday too. So I was also speaking from how I also approach death and stuff like that. And somebody close to me or whatever's grandparent passed away, and when I was reaching out to them and stuff like that, like I was waiting to check their temperature or whatever before I'm like, well, actually, no, I lied. I went into it like, oh my God, if you need me, blah, blah. Like I went into it how I would want someone to come to me or in a way that I thought you should, or they wanted to receive it. And lo and behold, that person's fine. And they were like, no, like I'm cool. Like I don't I appreciate it, but
right. It's a grandparent. It's a grandparent different because
grandparent for me was like,
no, I know. Oh no. Let's be clear. I'm saying that to say we assume that our grandparent will pass before our parents. I'm not saying nobody's getting ready for it or wants to. My grandparent is still alive, so I literally I get it. I just there is no preparation. I just know that my grandparent would be next in line before my mom, and I don't want either to go anywhere. Like literally, I just know that. Okay, in the grand scheme of things, here we go. Yeah,
I mean, that's all.
It's just you gotta check it. You know what to do with your friend or how it's gonna feel.
Exactly. I'm not just gonna Like you just, so I think that was existent here where it's like, because if I break down, then I might make them break down, and they're the person involved in it, and they're not even upset. So I'm just going off their energy.
Right. And I think, that's what I saw more than anything. I don't think it was like, oh my God. No, neither one of them was crying and then, but like I said,
like, I know most of you guys were like, I didn't have an issue. I had a lot, y'all. Phaedra makes it very easy for us to have issues with her, but this wasn't.
She does.
But you know, it was an issue 2 hours later when Crack was attacking. And if you guys didn't watch the episode and you don't know what we're referring to when we say that, Phaedra Crack was like on display at the freaking event. And I didn't understand why, because her dress was so low cut in the back that the crack was there. And like my sis said, her kids were there. So it was just kind of like, I felt like ultimately you're just always trying to try hard and it's annoying.
You didn't have to do all of that. But then again, like she called him strawberry shortcake and all this. And Kelly, girl, your legs ain't that much longer. And that's why you think that you can. No.
You know what he's saying? Nonetheless, all the ladies start arriving. Speaking of bite-sized brownies, did you see the titty shake that she get?
Oh my God! When you put that in the chat today, I don't think you saw why I was like, I clocked it. But girl, first of all, she tried to put it on Little Kim. So you look like Little Kim, girl. Do not touch my boobs.
Which unfortunately,
don't touch my boobs.
Whichever era of Little Kim you're talking about, I think she's beautiful. That can also be a compliment, and also you trying to be funny, because
looking good. You right.
Yeah, if we're talking about 25,
I think she was talking about good.
Like, yeah, I got that up. But if you're talking about 2 months ago, Lil Kim,
I don't even talk like that.
But
she didn't grab her boobs. Boom. This is your event. This is your event.
I mean, have I,
Don't I grope my best friend? My best friend. I don't grope her. I never like grab her like that in front of everybody. But my best friend,
okay, maybe
my best friend, she used to bop our titties, like bop them, like walk by, like boop, like that.
But the way Phaedra does it, and the way she speaks, and the way she just is always,
she wants to put her face in it and go like this. That's what I would do, man.
That's what she did to Sweet Tea. You remember? She was like, "Oh, baby's gonna love you."
Right. See,
I don't know, like, what is with her and people's titties, but don't leave your titties around Phaedra because she gonna move them. She be like, it was a lot going on, and Kelli got groped twice because Shamea touched him too. I saw, but yeah. How did you feel about Angela's wig? I didn't really love Angela's wig. I wish I had pictures. I don't. Of
but
that.
Short and wavy? Well, I can't remember.
It was like, she was trying. It was like a wet look.
Oh yeah, no. She knew. That was horrible. I was giving Michael Jackson when his back was a bad wig. Like, I don't like it. No, let me go back. It's giving Ethel.
She doesn't.
I Love Lucy when she wore the wet back look, and Fred knew that she was gonna, come in looking different, and so he looked at her and he jumped.
She knew it looked bad because someone said it. I remember seeing it on X where she was like, "Yeah, here." Oh,
really?
Here it is.
Yeah, it wasn't right. It needed to be. I don't know. It was wrong.
It was wrong. But I love that she can point those things out about herself. I love that. She's grounded in her. Like, y'all should know that she's sure of herself. The way that she's able to take the criticism and not just be in here clapping back in the comments and talking about, you all don't know what you're talking about. I look great. Like, she knows when her wig do not be wigging how it's supposed to. This picture right here, if you can see it, I don't want to play it because it's a video, but it wasn't what it should be. And
right there, the picture. I mean, that's a video, so but the way it's paused right there, it don't look so bad. But no, it was not given like it looks right there.
My eyes went directly to it when she came on camera. I was like,
and that's why I had to think about it. I was like, you know what? My eyes did that, but I forgot because I was so deep into the content. excuse me, what they were talking about. That when I saw her, I was like, And then I went right into listening to what they were talking about. That's crazy.
Shamea, I didn't mind Shamea's dress for once, which is wild. Like pigs are flying. I didn't mind hers, but honestly, y'all, the person who looked the best, which maybe she should be working with the glam team. Maybe every team is not for everybody. That's a part of this too. That has a lot to do with it. Maybe that team wasn't dressing.
Let me get my Angela fan on real quick because that's cold blooded.
Angela is Miss Mama Ray.
I get to see it. I only saw it. I didn't see the ends of the sides of it that it flared out right there. I was like, man, that's a lot of body yada yada. You see, like that's a good picture. That is a nice pic, and that's a nice pic right there. Yeah, she's serving in all directions. She is.
I can't lie. She looks good. And maybe I can understand if Kelli was like, she came in there with her bob, and the thing is, Brit knew she looked good, which also is kind of annoying because the way she played it, but she knew she looked good. I think maybe that wasn't the team for you, Kelli, and you guys have very different proportions too, very different.
Very much so.
Like the way in which they're putting, maybe they just weren't the team for you, and that's okay. But whatever.
But I wish the team would have just. I wish the team when she said, "No, I really want to get." I don't know what tone she said this to the Glam Squad, but when she was giving up her gripes, like, you know what, guys, I would really appreciate it if you guys, not style Brit because I know that's my girl, but y'all belong to me, or you guys do y'all my team, I pay you, and this is what it is. But what I heard is that she haven't been paying, so that's why they didn't skip ship. But then I was thinking, well, she been having her money tied up with the restaurant, and then the ex-husband's not paying her, so I can see a lot of that going on. And she got security like 24/7, and she got a lot of things going on. And then she got the dog that costs at least $1,000 a week. I'm exaggerating. I don't know, but
no, you're probably on the money. You were probably on the money with that one.
So literally,
there's issues. If you guys haven't gathered by now, I have a lot of issues with both parties and how they handle the situation. Also, would love to. Because I was gonna say I would love to hear from the Glam team, but I don't even know if I believe any of them, especially
Missy.
Paris, and I also came across one of the hairstylists makeup artists, and was also wasn't going as hard as Paris has been going allegedly, but was still kind of feeling like they were on some mess too. So I don't really know if any of those people are credible enough to come forward and do an interview. So, and she hasn't showed up to the reunion, as we know. Brit hasn't. So we probably will never get the full scope of how all this transpired. Honestly, who even cares at this point? But right here and right now, during this scene, it's very apparent how I'm not gonna say how we got here, because like I keep saying, we don't exactly know, but it's apparent that these ladies, in my opinion, were never truly friends. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Cynthia was actually the first person to inquire about what happened at Kelli's event. What is this? Heard about some dude, or like what was up with that? And so as Angela's explaining and as they're discussing, as we said before, Brit and her Bob actually roll up in there, and she Brit clearly knew she looked good the way she was.
Oh yes,
giving, and
cocky as AF.
Right off the bat, this is Kelli. And hi to everybody. Hi, Kelli. Hi, Kelli. Kelli's not even looking in her direction at all. In her confessional again, Kelli's explaining how she broke it down, like showed up with an IV therapist. I had her back. I was there. You ain't even check on me, my girls. Like, no, ma'am.
That's real. It's the girls again. It's like the girls keep getting, not even played, because that's not even a good word, but the girls keep getting, like, they're just in a line of fire for no reason. It's not even doing that to the kids.
Collateral freaking damage.
There you go. That's the word, Bookie. Go ahead.
Y'all, you get into the story time. We get in the story time of it all. And by story time, I mean Brit. Oh, just as disappointed as Kelli is, Brit's also claiming to be disappointed in how Kelli's handling this whole thing, and how she could have just came to her and told her how she felt. But you know, it is what it is. She want to handle it like that. So. Oh yeah. By the way, I should have also said that everybody was there except for Drew. Drew was late. Drew's been late a couple times this season. I don't know what that's about, but okay.
But
Mm-hmm.
She did call Phaedra.
Yeah, she did let Phaedra know she's gonna be late, but nonetheless,
Phaedra showed her the traffic that she was in. But y'all already know Georgia got stupid traffic, just like LA. Y'all you gotta leave earlier. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Go. You need to. You know what? Stop cutting it close. You need an hour to get to wherever you going when you driving wherever the hell y'all go, because Georgia traffic is crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
It is. It's crazy. Go ahead.
Drew ain't arrived. Doors are locked. Phaedra ain't playing about the punctuality. She's like, and like I said before, Porsha's not there. They're like, where's Porsha? Phaedra's like, I'll tell you guys later. Let's get the show on the road. And this is actually where Angela confirms that she did do her research on Marcus, and because she got people to do not play by her or Charles, and they paid dude a visit. Okay, they paid him a visit only for her to find out that he was paid to be there at Kelly's event. By who? We already told you by who. And she got a description of the person who told him and everything. So she did her due diligence, and we're gonna hear more about it in next week's episode and the finale. But producers were, of course, you know, trying to make this a humorous moment, asking freaking Angela if she was tied to the mob or whatever. Because I mean, she says she know people, whatever. So as this conversation is going on, though, Drew finally shows up in good spirits. I say she's in good spirits because even when she finds out that she was locked out or whatever and had to wait outside, she was cool on it. She was having a good little time out there. She was sharing freaking chicken wings with police officers. She was having a time, okay?
And he was cute. He was cute. I was like, oh.
I love that for her because it's like, Phaedra, you tried to play in her face probably with that. She didn't even allow you to see her sweat. Good on you, Drew. But as the conversation is going on inside everything, or I should say, as Drew's outside and the conversation is going on inside, Kelli, it really starts to heat up because she's still trying to ignore Brit and everything, but it's clear that this dude, you're saying you paid him or whatever. Oh, it must have been the person who didn't show up, or must have been the people who didn't show up or whatever. And Cynthia clocks it, and she's like, "Oh, well, Brit actually, she did have us over. Porsha was there too." She's like, "Oh, Porsha was there. Ooh, okay." And Brit's like, "Yeah, we were all at my house, and Porsha was there." And Brit again is recognizing this passive aggressiveness that's coming from Kelly's direction. She clocks it. She calls her out for it. And Kelly's like, "Girl, I'm not being passive. I am aggressive." Okay. And just as soon as she says that, Brit then turns to her, begins to actually walk towards her too. She steps towards her and she's like, "I haven't seen you ever aggressive." It wasn't for Cynthia. Cynthia gets in between them, like, "Okay, we're not about to do this right now."
Yeah, now.
This everybody's like, it's about to go down. But it doesn't officially go down because Kelli actually starts to walk away once Brit calls her insecure. She's talking about how she always needs to have sidekicks around or whatever. Kelli is walking away, but as she's walking away or whatever, she turns and the Phaedra's right there. She's like, you better talk to your fucking pill popping roommate. What? All she offered me was Advil, huh? What's going on? Oh my gosh.
Phaedra is so
Who
crazy.
did, okay.
I didn't get that Michael Jackson purple ball. I said,
Who?
bye,
Feisty.
girl.
Hi, Feisty.
Hey, Feisty.
So and y'all can let us know in the comments or whatever. Who did you guys think that Kelli was directing that comment to? At first, without really watching it back how I should have, I just took it and ran with it and was like, oh, she's clearly talking about Brit's husband or whatever that we don't know anything about. Episode 16, still don't know what he does for a living. So, but when I watched it back, y'all, it does appear as though Kelli was saying that to Phaedra because remember, her and Brit were roommates in Grenada. So it's giving that Brit is low-key a pill-popping animal. And Kelli just decided right now to let everybody know this. But wait, y'all, there's more. Brit doesn't let her get this off because then she responds with apparently Kelli has terminated some pregnancies during her marriage that obviously the way in which Brit was throwing it out there would lead us to believe that Brit or that Kelli during her marriage got pregnant by somebody else and went to the clinic and got some procedures done. So apples and oranges, y'all. However, I don't think that me calling you a pill popper or you calling somebody a pill popper would warrant that comeback necessarily. I feel like those two things don't exactly match. No, you shouldn't be going around throwing out people or popping pills. However, you coming back with that was like wild to me. But it continues though. Because Kelly's like, oh, you can never have a kid. Brit calls her a hobbit. This is where I really was realizing y'all have never truly been friends because certain things are not even going to be in your mind to even come out with saying because that was clearly something you were thinking about me or my situation or whatever since when we were friends.
That's
and
what I think.
Disingenuous. Shamea also tried to call out Brit for her talking about her Kelli pregnancies and stuff like that. She tries to basically, her and Angela thought that that was a low blow on Brit's part. And Kelli by now, I'm assuming to not allow things to escalate further, has excused herself. Phaedra's over there helping, being there for her, sure. And she's like, "Girl, I got my tubes tied after the twins. Like, that is so false. Like, come on now."
That's where I was like, why would you?
And y'all, the show hadn't even gone on. The show's about to happen right now, finally, thankfully. Mind you, Drew was still outside. But show starts.
Right.
Jessica White was actually one of the models, which I know is she still on Love and Hip Hop? I don't know. I don't watch it. But I saw some familiar faces between her.
She's still on there. And
was also there, which I don't know if you guys are familiar. I am familiar with him because I know he's worked with the ladies, especially on this show, and everybody in Atlanta and all over pretty much. He's worked with them a lot. And on this show, y'all remember season maybe 2, 3, whatever. There was that alter ego photo shoot. Yeah. That was him.
That was
so
dope. Yes,
that was cool.
He looked good.
I know Cynthia stuff like they do work. They've done some work together recently. Like all his stuff is always really good. Phaedra, her boys come out wearing pants. Everybody was loving that. I love that she encourages them to, like I said before, be close and be great out here. Again, get your pre-orders now. Afterwards, the ladies, they were shopping the items and everything, the furs, which there was faux fur, there was real fur, there was recycled fur, there was bleached fur.
That pink fur, the one that Kelli had, I said, if that ain't my sister right there, if that ain't Barb right there.
A pink fur. I could use that.
I know you can.
Afterward, but yeah, they're all shopping and everything, y'all. And Brit, or Shamea decides to sit Brit down to probe her, and to like kind of scold her about not showing up for Kelli or not reaching out to Kelli because she knew, like, she has all these things going on. And Brit, she ain't having that. She's like, I can't be fake. Like, She was not falling for that at all. She's not trying to come down from her high horse of I'm right, Kelli's wrong. And Phaedra brought it up, hearing it from somewhere else. Oh yeah, she was like, Phaedra brought it up and she didn't even hear it from her. Like, she heard it from somewhere else. So just missed me with this. And so then we finally conclude the episode with Phaedra pulling all the girls, setting the girls down to the side and letting them know about the unfortunate news that Porsha told her. And when she does that, Shamea, which I didn't notice the first time, but when I watched it back, Shamea's reaction let me know that this was the first time she heard about this, which, again, y'all really not best friends like that.
Come on, because why would you? I know you're going to Phaedra's event, but you still should have called Shamea. Period.
Hold on. What? Well, I know I wouldn't be in the situation, but somehow, some way, if I was Shamea, I'll just get up right there and be like, girl, I just found out what. But yeah, and of course Phaedra's trying to talk about, like, this is why we need to, not be bickering and having all this mess going on, and whatever she was saying was speaking to, like, yeah, we need to be getting along and not having this drama transpiring between us and stuff like that. And I'm like, you are the drama, you are the issue, you are the one that caused a big mess in this episode alone.
You sound like a Lionel Richie song. You are the sun, you are the rain. She was
Yes. That's exactly what I felt, because I'm like, Phaedra, get out of here with that. But as we said before, Watch What Happens Live, Cynthia and Angela were on there. We had
and Charles and Chucky Boy. Oh, Charles.
We had Charles behind the bar, y'all. Why is my computer not working? Because I wanted to bring up the things that I've been seeing online, but why is my technical difficulties? Here we go. Hold on.
Yeah. Like the video. Like the video, please.
Okay, hopefully we're back now. So I'm trying to think of anything significant was really said on Watch What Happens Live. Not that we haven't already really covered, but I do like how I liked them on there together. I think that was a good matchup, Cynthia and Angela. I thought that was nice.
They asked if Angela if Angela thinks she would do better with like the earlier cast, like the Cynthia.
Was that on What Happens Live, or is that on the interview? I keep getting them confused.
I feel like this was on Watch What Happens Live, because she was talking about the wig situation, and she was talking to Angela about it. So yeah, and she was like, "Yeah, I would fit in better because I don't think they would come for me for my wig because they all had bad wigs then." I was like, "Oh no!" So yeah, I thought that was kind of cute. But like I said, she like has little comebacks that make sense, and it goes like it's right there. And that the fact that she said, and
it's just enough shade. It's not like I'm trying to destroy your marriage.
I'm not overdoing it. I'm not overselling it. I'm not
you or freaking make your mom disown you, like just some like wild, like I'm not trying to freaking air out your freaking bankruptcy from 25 years ago. Like,
right,
is happening. So I liked her on there, which actually I think I have they looked really nice. I thought Angela,
and they both had on white. They didn't even try to do it together. Oh yeah, they look good. And that Cynthia has the line.
Yes, she has a suit line with, I can't remember with who, but this was
with
one
Giovanni.
Oh, okay, yeah. Which great. That's cool. This is her, which actually this is Angela's second time this season on Watch What Happens Live, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is. I think so.
She hasn't got they haven't gotten any of their letters yet. Obviously, usually that's after obviously the season wraps and stuff like that. But I do believe she will come back. Going over to the interview though, y'all. Angela recently had a interview with Carlos King, of course, and couple things that I gathered from the interview were that we haven't heard about her homes, the homes she renovated and stuff like that for an episode or two now. Unfortunately, they have been foreclosed on, all but 2. She bit off more she can chew. I love that she has enough humility and enough humility about herself to where she can say like, hey, I was in over my head. Like, I was supposed to sell these off to an investor. No investor, no, whatever. And it didn't go off without a hitch. So make sure if you get in these situations, you do your due diligence, because they exhausted a lot of money in an area that she shouldn't have ever entered into, but you live and you learn. And I feel like that's another thing too, where it's just like, and it's not to say that anybody should be freaking placing the value of their marriage or relationship in line with like financial things. But I do think that, like, I don't know, if the roles are reversed, I don't know if I could be as poised and as chipper, knowing that we are now hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars down in debt or whatever. Like, Charles better than me, I would definitely be upset or whatever. But it does sound like, going back to again, that their marriage is in a lot better of a state than we think it is or whatever. I feel like that goes with saying that right there, where it's just like he, was still showing up for her, and still she had this vision that she was gonna flip these houses and it was gonna be a great payday and stuff like that. Not really the case, but I feel like maybe they had obviously some conversations about it. I'm sure there was some bickering, I'm sure, about it, but all in all, I do feel like he is a lot more present and is behind her support. Like, she's on the show, and I love how she let us know that she didn't come on the show until it made sense for them. We learned earlier on in the season that she's been approached time and time again. They've been wanting her to be on the show for the longest, and I feel like in the interview she admitted that she didn't come on until it made sense. And I say make sense because she thought, like, with having these homes, that she was now going to get on the show and she would get exposure, and leads to sales, right? So she went into it with good intentions, and she also lets us know that, of course, going back to 2017, 2017 was the infamous year. 2017. They would have came on back then.
She wouldn't.
They've gone through, they've done the work and stuff like that.
I love that.
I do too, because I do believe that, if you do the work, and she says that he wanted to fix it, like he wanted them to be in a good space, like he wanted to not lose his family, because back then, like, they had new baby and stuff. Babies. Anyway. Like, harp on them. Like I keep saying, this entire freaking video, y'all, I'm not trying to get back on to scrutinizing their marriage. However, that timeline still is kind of weird, but neither here nor there. And I also understand too when she's like saying, like, yeah, he's a businessman that's used to getting paid, and we know that the men the husbands don't get paid. So a lot of the ways that he showed up were probably like, she's thinking over there, like, okay, like, oh, this man is getting paid, we ask him for all these things. Again, they're not the super, like, tonguing each other down, I guess, in public couple. So a lot of times on the show when they were being asked to act a certain way or to, you know, lay it on thick, so to speak, that's not them. So, and I feel like I pointed this out before where it's just like, yeah, obviously he's going to look at her crazy because he's like, girl, like, we don't even act like this. Like, what are you, like, that's not how we get down. It wasn't to spite her or to embarrass her on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd be interested to see how they show up next season. I would.
Yeah. Sophomore season for them. Yeah. It's going to be interesting without Brit, because, honey.
Like, she wouldn't normally ask, Charles, do you love me? Like,
yeah, no.
Like, I had to really take myself outside of like the digital creator space, or just looking at this from a point of view of where I'm just trying to just dissect it and trying to look at it as though I know for a fact you guys are reality stars and you guys be you know, sometimes like I had to step outside of that and really look at it from somebody that's been in a marriage that, you know, we've dealt with stuff or whatever, like, and you know, you can bounce back from those things if the two people want to do it. So I'm going to trust that she means what she says, that they've done the work, and it is what it is.
That finger point means something, y'all.
It means until I see other, like, I'm gonna take what you say for
what it is, face value. Yeah.
Inviting Angela simply points things out. I like how she like points things out without adding any extra mess. She points things out from a mature, I feel like, standpoint, which is why I feel like a lot of us have really gone up for her during the season.
Yeah.
She does recognize that she would have been aligned better with the old cast. And Carlos had to ask her who, you know, if she could think of her dream cast, who all would she put on there. And I have a screenshot actually, or I have a picture, a graphic I got on X. These are all the people that she said she would like to be on there with. Yes, Phaedra, or not Phaedra. Well, yeah, Phaedra's included, but Sheree, because we know that Trey and Charles have dated or whatever. She thinks that would still be good, that they would have some good conversations, some good scenes. Of course, she had to say Nene right off the bat. Kenya, Cynthia has really been a support system for her, so I like that. Drew, that's her girl. Claudia has reached out to her, and she likes Claudia, and she did say Phaedra, although Angela also noted that, and she said Shamea as a friend. She also noted, be nice, honestly. But with Phaedra, she came into the season already with under the understanding that more than likely Phaedra is going to come for her. For whatever reason, she has really good discernment about herself, and she just believed in her gut that Phaedra's going to come for her. So again, fast forward to now, none of this is probably a surprise. And Charles also knows what's up too, because he said on Watch Happens Live, he was just like, yeah, like the way it all transpired and stuff like that, and what we're going to see next week too, it was like, it was clear it had her name written all over it pretty much. Is what he's getting at without saying. Her mom, Charles, before her mom left this earth, they left off, Charles had cooked, her mom had came over, they shared a meal, and that was all she needed. That was all she needed to see happen between them before her mom left this earth. So that's all good. I love that they were able to have that. Yeah, that was she knows Phaedra started to remember. Yeah, that was pretty much it for the interview from what I gathered. It was cute or whatever.
Well, I can't believe we are approaching the season finale. That's cray. Like it's funny because it took a long time, and now that we're at the end, it's like, oh, okay, we're at the end.
Yes, y'all. But I think we'll call it here, and then next week I'll definitely prepare some clips and everything else we need to do to wrap things up and stuff. because the girls have still been online, obviously fighting and all that, y'all. But I don't want to make this too long, so I do appreciate the opportunity coming up here and talking about the episode with you. Yeah, it was interesting. I would give this episode I want to say 7, but like I feel like that's really generous. But
yeah, I was gonna give it like again
6.5.
last week at 6.5.
Give it a 6.5 for it to be the episode before the reunion. Like, although we had enough to obviously talk about for an hour and 45 minutes, it's still like I said,
wasn't given.
It's not giving because what I said in the beginning, that we're seeing so much transpire online and just so much outside of the show. And again, the big old break didn't help. We know big old breaks don't help shows.
Yes.
All of this package into one that's made me just kind of be like, okay, like let's be done with the season and let's go to the back of my mind.
Yeah.
And then we'll try again next season. Maybe we'll see. But
yeah, we now know why Brit did not come to the reunion. We just it's literally we can see why she didn't come. She just didn't want to stand things that she said.
And her lawsuit's not even like an official lawsuit. It was like an attempt to like it. You guys didn't hear that. Yeah, so
she's weird. Yeah, we're gonna leave it right there. It's like literally we'll talk about her for the next 30-45 minutes by herself, her weird self.
Again, collectively 49 people are watching. We appreciate you. Don't forget to like, share, please like, please share, please comment, because it's like at this point y'all do be watching, but like for some odd reason y'all just don't like to like or subscribe. I don't get that. Like I don't know why.
Just applying pressure to the button, y'all. Just apply pressure to the button.
I don't know why you'd want to meet and listen to us this long and not do those things. But for my analytics show that you aren't doing the things. So please, okay. We want us to continue to come down here and give you our commentary and show up and stuff like that. We need you guys to show up for us too, and like and comment and subscribe and share and all the things. Please. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, good night, guys.
All right. Bye.